Harshvardhan and Saiyami, welcome to Movie Talkies. You are two gorgeous looking individuals. How come there have been no reports of link up?
No reports of link up.
No fodder for media.
Because we don't go out much. We do our own thing.
We do our own thing.
Yeah.
And also I feel
It's not a link up.
see, as why are there no link ups?
I'll tell you why. Because we don't go out much. One.
Okay.
Secondly, because link up stories are half the time created.
Correct.
Which we're not going to do. And then because we're not together.
Yeah, true. Okay, so on a serious note, working with Rakesh Om Prakash Mehra is on many actors' to-do list.
Yes.
You guys have got an opportunity to work with him in your very first film. So how does it feel?
Amazing. Very good. Incredible.
For me, it was Rang De is, I think for both of us actually, Rang De is one of the best films of our generation. So to work with a director of his stature, it's an honor, you know. And I think we both now are chasing him. We want to do another film with him.
Anybody would. So how was the first day on sets?
For me, the first day on set was, sipping on wine, which was not actually wine, it was apple juice, and watching Harsh work very hard. He was playing polo. So I was looking pretty, and my hair makeup team was looking after me, and I was sitting and sipping apple juice.
And for you?
I was galloping on a horse very fast and trying to hit a polo ball.
Okay, so was it daunting to be working with Rakesh Om Prakash Mehra, or did you do some workshops?
We three of us got a lot of time together, so we kind of spent a year and a half, Harsh, together.
Yeah, I spent 18 months.
I got almost.
I spent 18 months preparing for the part.
So we had a lot of time with Sir. So he has this image of being a little serious and stuff, but he's not that person at all. He's somebody who is extremely funny. So it's not daunting at all. He actually comforts you on set. He's the most comforting person on set.
So how did you land this project, both of you?
It was completely different for both of us actually. I had been speaking to Mehra about it for some time, and he always liked me for the part. And then, after some kind of thinking about whether when to do it, if to do it, and all of that, I went to college. I finished studying, I came back, and in 2013 I reached out to him. He had first spoken to me about it in 2011. So then I reached out to him, and then I think about a month and a half before Milkha released, we decided to go ahead with it.
So you were a part of the whole scripting thing and everything?
When I was, Gulzar Sahab had been writing it for a while, but when I was signed, it was a very, there was a draft, but it was very a very rough draft, yeah.
And you, Saiyami?
For me, it was a very long journey. I auditioned for almost 6 months. Sir sent me to Delhi to workshop to learn how to ride. After almost 12 screen tests, when Sir was completely sure, he signed me on. So it was quite a long journey.
So tell me more about your roles in the film. Obviously, we know that the film is based on Mirza Sahiba, but
it's inspired by
it. But so tell me more about your role and how did you prepare for it?
So for both of us, we both play two different roles. We have two parallel worlds going on simultaneously. For me, I have Sahiban, who is from the legend of Mirza Sahiban, and there is Suchi from the current
contemporary times.
So Rakesh sir put it very simply to me, and he said, 30 years ago he saw this play and he wanted to know why Sahiban broke the arrows. तो वो तीर क्यों तोड़े उसके पीछे he kind of made this film. So that was his concept behind Sahiban. And as far as Suchi, Gulzar Saab made it very easy for us because he's written a beautiful poem which says एक नदी थी दोनों किनारे थाम के बहती थी एक नदी थी कोई किनारा छोड़ न सकती थी एक नदी थी. So Rakesh sir kind of just read this poem. He said ये आपके ज़हन में आने दो and live with this and we'll chat again. So it was a journey of experiencing both these characters and it was very beautiful.
And you?
So Adil and Mirza, two completely different characters that have no connection to each other, set in two different worlds. And the world of Adil is basically, he's somebody that's from Rajasthan and works in a palace resort. There were many palaces back in the day that have been converted into palace resorts now. and they attract many foreign tourists, and they have a huge horse culture. They have a huge polo culture. They have this whole thing of going on night safaris and desert safaris into the open landscapes with the animals and stuff. So that's kind of the world that he works in. He works in the horse stable in a palace resort. You know, and he takes care of the horses. He takes care of the prince's horse. He plays polo with the guests. You know, but that's his world. And then Mirza's the warrior, you know, archer and a rider from an undefined time period. So yeah.
So you learned a lot of things for this movie.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate on those?
I learned riding for 18 months. I learned archery for 18 months. Then I learned how to ride and shoot at the same time. I learned how to play polo. Briefly.
You learned how to ride a bike on sand.
Yeah, I learned how to ride a bike on sand. Learned how to ride a motorbike first, and then like get pretty good at that. And then how to ride a bike on sand is extremely different, especially soft sand. And you know, in the dunes of Jaisalmer, it's unpredictable sand. And then riding double with her, because riding solo is because you're only managing your own weight. So you know, riding double on concrete is fine, but riding double on sand is like you're bound to have a lot of falls.
Weren't you scared? It's a novice.
It was. I mean,
No, it wasn't scary.
It wasn't scary.
wasn't.
It
No,
wasn't scary.
but you sitting behind him and he's just learned biking, so were you scared?
No, he trained a
learned
lot.
a
Yeah,
lot,
he
yeah.
trained
I
for like,
trained.
he used to travel and train a
I
lot.
trained in Vadala
Yeah.
on a sand track for 1 month
Wow.
in a sweatsuit, the protection suit, you know, that you have so you don't get hurt. But the thing about wearing that in Bombay is that it's so humid anyway and hot that by the time you take it out, you're completely dehydrated, you know. So I would have days where I would do that in the evening, go horse riding in the morning, go to the gym in the afternoon, you know. So there were some very exhausting prep days on this film.
So you've literally given your sweat and blood to this movie.
Yeah, I think everybody has to, not just me. It's not possible otherwise to make this kind of a film, you know.
So like you all said that there are two different worlds in this film. Do we time travel back and forth in the movie?
A little bit. I don't know if it's
Time
I
travel
don't know
it
if it's
won't
time
be.
travel, but
Basically, it's something that happened in the legend, which is echoing and reverberating in this 2016.
So you are just
You know?
comparing the two stories. Is it like that?
no, it's not a comparison. It's just that it's like that's how it unfolded then. That's the legend, and if that potentially happened today, maybe this is what it would be like.
Okay.
To make it very simple.
So were you aware of this Mirza Sahiban legend before you came on board?
So for me, I always knew there was Heer Ranjha, Laila Majnu, Mirza Sahiban, because these are legendary folk tales, tragic love stories of our country. But when I asked Rakesh sir, I wanted to read up further, I wanted to kind of know more about these characters. He said, don't read up because it will influence you, and our story is about a contemporary story. So we don't want that influence to come in. Let's create our own world. So, I mean, listen to the director's orders.
And were you aware?
When we first started talking about it, when I was about 20, 21 years old, I did a lot of reading about it on Wikipedia. So, kind of the basic elements of the characters and the basic facts of the story were there. So I kind of knew what happens in the end and why and kind of all of that stuff. But the stuff online is not very detailed.
Yeah.
It's very brief. It's very vague. So, which is good, you know.
So do you think Sahiban did the right thing by breaking the arrows, and what you would have done if you would have been in her situation or position?
So, I feel that Sahiban did something, she sacrificed something that was most dear to her in her life. So, it takes immense courage, I feel, I would like to say that I have the courage, but I don't think I'm that strong in reality, to sacrifice, to let go of something that there's nothing more in life you love. So, she did that in order to avoid bigger bloodshed. She did that in order to see that, it doesn't get worse. So, I feel that is an act of a lot of courage.
And what do you feel?
Also, don't you think it was like she was kind of feeling so scared and then she just did it, no? Or do you think it was thought out?
No, it can't be thought out because at that moment it
That's
can't
what I'm
be.
saying.
Yeah, it can't be thought out.
It's like an instinct,
It's an instinctive thing of
something. Then you just do it.
You do it because you know that the brothers are going to kill.
Yeah.
So it's an instinctive thing.
Or he's going to kill the brother.
Yeah.
Or he's going to kill the brothers. Okay. So one thing you love about Harshvardhan and one thing you hate about him, and the same for you. One thing you love about her and one thing you abhor.
I love Harsh's eyes.
Intense.
Yeah, they're not I mean, intense they are, but they're extremely expressive. They're extremely expressive, and you know, you can see to his soul through his eyes. His eyes are really expressive and emotive. And one thing I hate, I've said this many times, but you know, he doesn't. He's particular about what I eat
I gave you
because
cookies yesterday. What are you talking about?
he
Now the
on
film's
set. Now the film's over, doesn't matter. But on set, he was very particular about what I ate because he's a healthy eater, and I love food.
Sure.
What do I hate? I'm trying to think.
You can start with love.
Yeah, that she is very strong. For you know, I mean, as a personality. I don't think she's not very fragile. You know what I'm trying to say? Like she's not.
She's not that princessy.
Yeah. She's not fragile in that way. I think a lot of girls are, you know, which is great. But that's not her personality. She's more like she comes from like an athletic background, so that has an impact on her mentality. You know, of kind of wanting to compete.
She's not Miss Touch Me Not.
She doesn't mind cuts and bruises, is what I'm trying to say, which is true.
Yeah, of course.
And then, what I not like is she's like a super morning person. Like no, like she wakes up at 6 in the morning out of choice. I don't know why anybody would do that.
What do you do?
It's peaceful, yeah, in the morning
true.
at 6.
That's
Oh,
true.
it's so peaceful.
Especially living in the city, if
yeah,
you want
you
peace
need
and quiet,
peace.
that's
You
the
need to
only
be
time.
up at 5:36.
So did you always want to be an actor?
I was strongly considering going the writer-director way. Then my life would have been very different, you know. I think somewhere between 18 and 21, I decided to kind of do the whole acting thing. And then maybe
But you went to study writing.
I studied writing
Yeah.
for 4 years. So I was very serious about it. Then I kind of somewhere between 18 and 21, I kind of... So writing and acting were the two main things that I was pursuing, right? And then I kind of said, I want to be an actor. But then I want to be an actor so I can later kind of maybe do the whole writing thing, you know.
And what about you?
For me, my life revolved around sport. You know, I used to play competitive badminton and cricket. So acting was never something, it wasn't a childhood thing. But when I came to Bombay, I was studying in Xavier's. That's where I kind of think the bug bit me because I started doing a lot of theatre workshops and stuff like that.
So any interesting anecdote that happened on the sets or during the shooting that you would want to share with our viewers?
One would be your injury, I feel.
got two really bad injuries.
Yeah.
I got a head injury and a ear injury. They were really bad. The ear one,
So that was during the training period or during the shoot?
I thought the head injury was bad, but I actually got over it. The ear injury turned out to be horrible.
And what happened?
We were firing blanks, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And for the close-ups, I didn't wear earplugs. So my ear I had a concussion to the ear. So I couldn't hear from my right ear for like half an hour at all.
For 6 months after that.
And then for 6 months after that, my ear was ringing, like, you know,
I
that
hope
buzzing.
you're fine now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine, but like, there's certain things I'll never be able to do in my life. Like, if I go to a loud nightclub where the decibels are too
You
high,
become very sensitive.
my right ear is so sensitive now that it'll just keep ringing. I can't listen. Airplanes, you know, do that to me. If I have a cold, it comes back. So the nerve over there has been slightly ruffled. Like now I'm fine, but I have to like be. It's good in a way because I like really value my. And anybody should, you know, like whoever's watching this, especially if you're an actor, like insist on wearing earplugs for action scenes. Like just no matter what, you know. And actually, I think we were in a rush that day because we were losing Phulia's location.
You're always in a rush.
Yeah. But that particular scene we tried, we were supposed to do it in 2 days, we couldn't get it. So we then ended up doing it every day for like an hour for 6 days. And that constant repetition just ruined my but I'm fine now, so.
And with you, anything interesting happened with you on the set?
See, every day used to be a lot of fun for me, but this is something that came to me, you know, Harsh, Rakesh and I, three of us are very fond of cricket. So the World Cup was on, the semi-finals were on, and
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't handle the fact that we were not watching it.
And we were shooting
And
that
we were
day, yeah.
shooting that day, but then we were watching it. This was in Mandava, I think.
Yeah, Mandava.
We were watching it on Sir's little iPhone.
But we went and then we saw it on TV also at
But
the
live
base.
that's later. But we remember we were sitting behind and watching it on that little phone, and our first AD was going crazy because he was saying that, sir, yaar, shoot karna hai, what are you all doing? So, you know, just stuff like that. But
That was a very sad day.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got destroyed that day by Australia, right? Yeah.
So your father is an acting powerhouse. Your sisters have carved a niche for themselves. Are you feeling the pressure because all eyes are on Harshvardhan Kapoor now?
Not really. Are they really?
Yeah,
that
they
means
are.
people will go watch the film, right?
They
I
will
want the eyes to
definitely.
be on me, please. Eyes be on me, people go watch the film.
But are you
So-
feeling the pressure?
No, not really.
No, not at all.
I mean, the film has turned out to be what we imagined. Better, in fact, and that's all you can really hope for, you know.
So, do you think, both of you, that people coming from a filmy background have it easier in Bollywood than the outsiders, or there is more pressure on people who are coming from a certain background?
see, both have its pros and cons. I feel that, you know, Harsh is somebody who doesn't take pressure, but for somebody who comes with such a big lineage, the pressure is always there, the expectations are much higher, and it definitely is a little tougher to kind of, someone from the industry has the door a little open, but finally you have to prove yourself, you know, if you're good, you work, if you're not, you don't. So,
That's true.
Same answer.
Yeah, I mean, what she said, yeah, like, there are a lot of star kids that are youth stars that the industry can't do without because they're supremely talented. You know.
but there is like Deepika, Priyanka,
And then,
you know,
yeah,
all
there's
these
like,
examples.
it's
that,
like 50-50, yeah. I mean, you know, if at the end of the day, the only people that are doing good work are the super talented ones. So that thing, you know.
Okay, so apart from Mirza Saiban, which is your favorite love story?
Like romantic tragedy.
Any?
Or any.
I love love stories.
Can it be like a film?
Anything.
Any.
Casablanca, it's yeah.
There's this one film, I don't think anybody's heard of it, but it's called Equals. You know Kristen Stewart from Twilight?
Kristen Stewart, yeah.
She's in it. And I was actually going to send Saiyami the trailer, but then we've been so busy promoting that I forgot.
Equals.
Equals.
Okay.
It's so Kristen Stewart's in it, and this actor called Nicholas Hoult, who's Jennifer Lawrence's ex-boyfriend, is in it. They're both very good actors. And I saw it in Toronto last year. I asked her to come with me. She couldn't make it.
See, that's why no link-up reports.
Why?
She never turns up whenever
She
you
never
call.
turns up. Yeah. She was, where were you? You were doing some outdoorsy stuff.
Yeah. I was on a trek.
You had gone to Europe.
I don't remember.
She had gone to Europe. So, no, so great film. And why I like it so much is because it's a sci-fi love story. So I'm obsessed with sci-fi. And especially when sci-fi and romance kind of come together, that's like my favorite genre.
So what next now? Have you signed any new projects?
I'm doing a film called Bhavesh Joshi. I finished shooting half of it. And then I'm going to finish the other half November, December, Jan.
And what about you?
So for me, I was supposed to start a film with Mani sir in the south. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that starts off next sometime, I think December, Jan. But otherwise, keeping my fingers crossed on a few other things.
So I have this request from my viewers that if Harshvardhan can say jhakas in his father's style.
No. You should ask Arjun Kapoor that. He'll
Oh,
do it
he
for
does
you.
it better?
Yeah, I'm not that kind of.
I'm not that kind.
No.
Yeah, you did say that I'm inspired by Amir Khan more.
No, actually that quote was taken out of context. That was at the music launch.
Music
right?
launch.
Yeah. What I said. They asked me which actors, like, you know. So I said that you know, there's no one actor that I would say that I wish all of his films like I did or something like that. I just said Amir is very inspirational for his choices, for his patience and his conviction to kind of do one thing at a time in isolation. And I also said Ranbir for his ability to be spontaneous and his brilliance and his versatility, you know. So,
But your father does inspire you, right?
the thing is, you know what, I'll tell you what it is to be very honest. I don't want to just say it because I don't want to ever be dishonest in any interview, but the thing is that when we grew up, like Sam and I were the same age, we really started watching films in the late 90s. You know what I'm saying? So at that time, Dad's best films, I mean, he's still doing amazing films, but the 80s was really the time. You know, I'm saying that generation, because say like Arjun and Sonam are 6-7 years older than me. So the Tezab, the Ram Lakhan, the Lamhe, those days. Then after that, when we started watching film in the late 90s, it had become about Amir.
No, but like Dil Dhadakne Do was so good, yeah.
But Baba,
It
I'm
was
saying
so
our
good.
generation has grown up on,
correct, yeah,
like for
yeah.
example, when kids now are 16, 17 years old, we'll talk about Ranbir
Ranbir,
Kapoor
yeah,
the same way.
correct.
So I'm saying, for our generation, it was Dil Chahta Hai, Lagan, Rang De Basanti, Three Idiots, you know, PK, all these films, you know. So we've kind of like, there, you know, so that, yeah.
So tell our viewers quickly, why should they watch Mirzia?
Because it's a big screen experience. It's an audio visual film. It's a visual film because it's told like a story, like a picture book, and it's an audio film because it's a proper musical. When I say a proper musical, I mean the story is told through lyrics of the songs in the film. So that is the narrative style. So to experience that in the best way, you have to go to the cinema, otherwise you're ruining the experience for yourself.
Like
You know,
the scale is too huge.
Yeah, don't. It's not a film that you can watch on a laptop. You won't enjoy it, you know. So
I feel it's Gulzar Saab coming after 17 years. I feel that in itself for our generation
enough to pay the price that we
is
pay.
enough because he's so poetic, he's so romantic. I just want everyone our age, and of course the older generation should watch it for Gulzar Saab. Our generation, because we'll understand what real poetry
and our
is.
generation also for Rakesh Mehra, who's
Yes.
probably the most influential director of the of our generation.
for sure.
You know, so.
So it was great talking to both of you. I wish you all the best
Thank
for
you.
Mirzia.
Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
thank you for being on Movie Talkies.
Thank
very
you.
much.